Hello and welcome everyone. My name is Ahmed Dubayan, and I would like to welcome you all on behalf of Yunus Emre Institute London and London Central Mosque Trust. We are here today for the talk and demonstration by a very, very special calligrapher and illumination artist from Turkey. I'm sure most of you all know her already. I would just like to say a few words about the Institute. We are a cultural diplomacy institute based in London, established in 2010. We are working around on increasing awareness on the learning of Turkish culture, and we are supporting greater exchange in the fields of art, culture, science and literature. And you can follow for more interesting events like this on all social media at YEE Londra, Londra. Now, without further ado, I would like to kindly welcome Dr. Ahmed, the director of the London Central Mosque, for his welcome speech.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. Dear sisters, dear brothers, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. First of all, let me actually express our deep welcome and warm welcome really to the great artist and illuminator and calligrapher, Sister Tiryaki, who is with us here today, and we are so pleased to welcome her in the Islamic Cultural Center, London Central Mosque. Thank you, Shahraban, also for the beginning. And I would like also to thank Yunus Emre Cultural Center, for the Turkish Cultural Center, for giving this chance together to welcome this chance for this kind of art. What we call it in Arabic, Tezhip. And the word Tezhip comes from the word dhahab. Dhahab in Arabic means gold. And Tezhip, it means making something or using gold to paint something. And this is a kind of art which is actually known in the Islamic world from Arabic as Tezhip, and it's in Urdu and in Turkish and other many Islamic languages. Actually, many people know some information about calligraphy, but not all people know information about Tezhip or about gilding or gilding. That's good. Today we have some samples here from the beautiful hand of Sister Tiryaki here with us today to see some model of this Tezhip which comes with calligraphy together. And Tezhip has a great history in the Islamic history, moving from of course one time to another. From Abbasid time to Tezhip time to Turkish time and to Muslims in India, Muslims also in the Central Asia, what we call Bilad Mawara al-Nahar, the beyond the river country, they call it, the Muslims they call it at that time. And there are many schools, of course, for this, and many great mudahibin, that is illuminator in the history, like Darwish Naqash, Muhammad Ali Rawandi, Hassan Shirazi, Hassan Baghdadi, Abdullah Shirazi, and others. They are not known actually everywhere in the Muslim world because not many people are so interested in the Tezhip, but calligraphy actually has taken the first line of the interest of many people. And calligrapher, of course, they have bigger history and wider history. But the best examples actually for the Tezhip, if you allow me with 1 minute more, you will find it in the Quran. And why Muslims focus actually from all nations focus on the Tezhip more, because they want to show the glory of the Quran itself. They want to show the respect and love to the Quran. So they choose always the best calligrapher to write the Quran. At the same time, then the Mudahib, who used to be called in the Abbasid time Naqash, and it's illuminator, and he used to come after the calligrapher. When the calligrapher finishes his work or some pages, then he give it to for the Tezhip. Then the Tezhip, they are going to use the gold and using, of course, as we see some example here, and we are going to see inshallah more from our great artists today. And this is actually to show our love to the Kalamullah, to the words of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to the Quran. Until today, alhamdulillah, we have inherited most beautiful Qurans everywhere in the museums. You will find many of them in Istanbul, you will find some in Cairo, some also in other cities, mainly actually in Istanbul, and mainly also this is in the Iranian school. Also there are many of them. So these schools, actually the Turkish one and the Iranian one, they preserve the techniques, the old techniques, and they're still using them till today. And mashallah, from the Turkish school, we have the most beautiful works, actually, for the Quran, and the most beautiful copies of this Quran for this Islamic work, which is a result of different works, different people, different races. They have one in common, that is they are Muslims, and they come, all of them, to the Quran to show the glory of the Kalamullah, and they show their love and their respect to this book. So you have to present it in the best way. And actually we have something similar to this, but of course with different art, with the Christians for the Bible, or with some copies of the Hindus for the Bhagavad Gita, for example, and others. So to show the respect and love for this, of course, but not like the Quran. The Quran, we have many copies, and some copies really sometimes you are surprised how the illuminator or the calligrapher has written this. You cannot imagine how much time they spend, how much patience they have in their hearts for this, and why they have this patience. You see how much time that just this small piece takes now since we came here, and you can imagine that as you are going to illuminate the whole Quran. How long will that take? Something really unbelievable of time, skills, using let's say, valuable materials like gold itself, like some colors which are very rare, taken from trees, taken from gems, from stones. It's not easy. It's a very long technique. Actually need patience and need very high skills for everybody to reach this level of the Mudahibin, of the Tezhip, which is we have it. Alhamdulillah, now we have a lot of actually manuscript shows this kind of art, and maybe inshallah soon we are going to have also some lectures about calligraphy, and also I'm so happy to have teacher Gulnaz with us today here, sitting here, and alhamdulillah, yeah. So inshallah then Islamic art now have better market among the community, Muslim community, because the young people actually know little about the history of Islamic art, the calligraphy, the Tezhip, and all this. And who are those pioneers who did all this work for us? And we don't know them. Sometimes we don't find them also, their names. We don't study about them in the schools, but if we have to go deep to the references, and we have to go to the museums, then we will know who actually did all these works, beautiful works. And we find, by the way, some of them in the British Museum here in London. We find some of them actually in Paris, in the Bibliothèque Nationale in Paris, and other places, Petersburg and Russia. Everywhere you will find all these pieces of Islamic art, mainly Qurans, and you will see really how the Islamic art itself and the Tezhip and calligraphy together flourish together to show the beauty of the Quranic text. And this is the purpose of it actually, and then of course it's used for other books like literature, poetry, etc. Alhamdulillah, again I have to say thank you very much for giving this chance. And I'm sure many sisters and many brothers are so keen to learn something about this Islamic art, which is sometimes forgotten and sometimes not many people know about it. And mashallah, I can see how attractive these works here from both sides, calligraphy side and Tezhip side. Jazakallah khair. Thank you very much, Sister Tiryaki, for coming. Thank you very much for giving us this chance. Unfortunately, I couldn't speak Turkish, but maybe next time, inshallah. Jazakumullah khair. Thank you very much. Thank you.
she would like to express her gratitude and welcome you all warmly for attending this talk here today.
Dr. Ahmed Dubayan Bey çok geniş bir şekilde bilgi verdi sanatlarımız hakkında. Teşekkür ederim ona da.
She also thanks Dr. Ahmed for giving this deep information in depth about our traditional arts.
Tabii ki kısa bir sürede bu sanatlar hakkında çok tam anlamıyla bir bilgilendirme imkansızdır.
She says it's of course almost impossible to make justice to explain our traditional arts in such a limited period of time.
Ahmet Bey'in de söylediği gibi tezhip kelimesi zehebe, zehibu, tezhibu Arapça bir kelime, altınlamak anlamı.
Just like Dr. Ahmed mentioned, the word tadhib comes from the Arabic word, comes from the Arabic dhahaba, and it literally means decorating with gold, gilding.
Tezhip kelimesi yani Anadolu'da sonra kullanılıyor.
And it was commonly used in Anatolia and during the Ottoman Empire.
Yani Arapçada zahrefe kullanılıyor.
And in Arabic it is called zahrefa.
Yani burada başka, İngilizce'de başka. Ve anlaşıldığı üzere ana malzeme altın.
And as understood from the word itself, the main material is gold.
Gerçek gold.
And they use real gold, 24 karat
22 karat.
or 22 karat
18, 12.
or 18 or 12.
Ve bu şekilde farklı renklerde altınlarla tezhip yapılıyor.
And each different ratio gives you a different shade of the gold.
Altının yanında da ana renk olarak lacivert kullanılıyor çoğunlukla.
Okay. And next to gold, the main color they use is lapis. Yeah, lapis.
Bu sanat ilk defa Orta Asya'da gözüktü. Orta Asya Uygur Türklerinde rastlıyoruz.
Okay. So this art, this tezhip as an art form has flourished in Central Asia among Uyghur Turks, as she mentioned.
Daha sonra yine İranlılarda, Selçuklularda yapılageldi.
And it was practiced by Persians and under the Seljuk dynasty.
Gelişerek 16. yüzyılda en güzel, en zengin, en güzel örnekleri var.
And it has reached its richest form in the 16th century.
Could you kindly share the mic so we can hear her as well?
Yeah.
Mikrofonu paylaşabilir misiniz? Ben sesini
Şuradan devam edelim.
This works?
Yeah, it works.
Evet, 16. yüzyıl en zengin dönemidir bu sanatın ve bu dönemin isimleri Baba Nakkaş, Şahkulu ve Karameli'dir.
And renowned artists. Okay.
No, Sister, can she speak louder?
Oh, okay.
No, it's okay. We hear you. But
Okay, siz de konuşabilir misiniz? Tabii ki. So I will just translate this bit. Yeah. So the renowned artists of the 16th century are Baba Nakkaş,
Şahkulu ve Karameli.
yeah, Şahkulu and Karameli.
Asıl bu son 20. yüzyıla kadar kitap sanatları diye bu sanatları tanıyoruz. Kitap sanatları.
Until the 20th century, this art form was one of the art forms that are known to decorate books as an illumination art.
Kitap sanatlarının içinde tesip, hat başta geliyor, sonra tesip, ebru.
And along with Tezhip, we can mention calligraphy and paper marbling, ebru,
Tesip, ebru,
miniature,
katı yani
paper cutting is called katı,
bu gibi ve de cilt.
and bookbinding.
Bu sanatlar kitap sanatları diye biliniyordu.
All these art forms are known as book decorating art forms.
Daha sonra matbaanın yaygınlaşmasıyla el yazması kitapların azalmasıyla bu sanatlar artık levha sanatına dönüştü. Şimdi böyle gördüğünüz gibi eserler levha olarak üretiliyor çoğunlukla ve duvarlara asılıyor.
With the rise of the print press and the decline of manuscripts and written and decorated, painted manuscripts, the work that was devoted to these art forms has declined as well, and they have become, alone by themselves, they have become art pieces that were and still are usually, as we see here today, presented in plate forms.
Biz bu kitap sanatlarının içinde bugün tesip konusunu işleyeceğiz ve size daha çok görüntüler sunacağız.
And today we will focus on illumination, Tezhip, and we will go through some examples.
Tesipte görüntülere geçmeden önce şunu söylemek istiyorum. Tesip sanatı tabiattan esinlenerek ve tabiatta görülen ağaçları, çiçekleri, yaprakları stilize ederek yapılan bir sanattır.
In this art form, we take the inspiration from the nature, and the elements that we see in the nature, such as trees, leaves, and flowers, we don't apply them and paint them directly in Tezhip, we stylize them.
Şimdi göreceğimiz örneklerde de anlayacağız. Yani onlar bir çiçeğe benziyorlar ve yapraklara da benziyorlar. Ama tamamen hangi ağacın, hangi çiçeğin yaprağı anlayamıyoruz. Çünkü stilize edilmişler.
As you will see in the examples now, when you look at examples, you can tell that one particular motif is leaves and flowers, but it's almost impossible to distinguish which flower or leaf or tree they are coming from because we stylize them.
Bu stilize etmek mantığı özellikle İslam inancıyla alakalı. Yani Müslümanlar bu sanatı geliştirirken stilizasyon onların çok hoşuna gitmiş.
And this approach is very well connected to the Islamic understanding of creating art. And they have very much enjoyed stylization.
Çünkü yani şunu anlamışlar ki herhangi bir insan ne kadar çabalarsa çabalasın gerçek bir yaprağa, gerçek bir çiçeğe resmederek tam ulaşamaz.
Because they have all agreed that no matter how much effort you put into your painting, it's almost impossible. It's impossible to achieve the actual beauty of that flower or the leaf by painting it.
Ve bu sanatın dışında da stilizasyon, yani o yüzden çok özel bir sanat. Sadece bu sanat.
That is why this particular art form and the stylization in this art form is really important.
Bu çiçeklerden, ağaçlardan yani bu yeşilliklerden başka bazı hayvan motiflerine benzer şeyler de görüyoruz ama o hayvan motiflerini Kur'an-ı Kerim gibi kitaplarda kullanılmamış, tarih kitaplarında kullanmışlar.
Apart from the floral motifs, it's also possible to come across animal motifs, but they are never used in Islamic manuscripts and Qurans.
Bir de yine tabiattan bir şey olarak bulut motifleri kullanılıyor.
And another element that is stylized in this art is clothes.
Bir de Rumi dediğimiz menşei bitkisel veya hayvani diye tartışılan Rumi motifi var. Menşei konusunda netlik yok. Yani kimi kişiler Rumi'nin menşeini hayvansal diyor. Yani farklı bir motif Rumi. Kimisi bitkisel diyor, kimisi hayvansal.
Okay, and then there is a Rumi pattern, but artists today still don't agree whether it is floral or human, animal related motifs.
Yani bu motifler test içinde bazen de geometrik şekillerle bir arada kullanıldığı vardır.
And from time to time they combine it with geometrical patterns as well.
Şimdi görüntüleri geçebiliriz.
Okay, we will move on the images now.
Şimdi görüntülerimize başlayalım inşallah. Çünkü görüntüler üzerinden daha iyi anlaşılacaktır. Bu bir tezhip ve hat sanatının ikisinin bir arada olduğu bir levhadır. Gördüğünüz gibi bir kitap artık bir kitapta değil, levhalarda karşımıza çıkıyor.
As you can see here we have an example of Tezhip and calligraphy in combination and harmony, but it's not a part of a manuscript. It's alone by itself. It's an art piece.
Burada bu hat sanatını yapanlara hattat diyoruz, tezhibi yapanlara müzehip diyoruz. İkisi aynı kişi de olabilir, yani bir levhada. İki ayrı sanatkar da olabilir.
In one art work, those who practice the calligraphy are called hattat, and those who practice the illumination are called muzahib or muzahiba. And it doesn't have to be the same people. The calligrapher could be one person, and the illumination artist could be another person. And they together they can complete one art piece.
Bunu biraz büyütebilir miyiz? Biraz detaylarını da görelim.
Now we will look in detail.
Fark etmez bir şey olabilir. Burada bir sonrakileri görelim şeyleri. Detaylara gireyim ben biraz. Bunu geçelim. Burada da yine hat ve tezhip sanatı bir arada görülüyor. Bu iki sanat tek başına da bulunabilir. Yani sadece hat veya sadece tezhip de olabilir. Birlikte de çok görülüyor.
These two different art forms, calligraphy and illumination, they can be presented together, such as we have seen in the previous example and in this one, or they could be alone. It could be just calligraphy, or it could be just tezhip alone by itself.
Köşe detay verirsen. Bu hat sanatında bir renk mürekkebi kullanılmış. Tezhip kısmında da biraz daha büyük bir imkan var mı? bolca altın kullanılmış. Sarı gördüğümüz sarı yerler tamamen altın. Hatta o iç kısmında, iç köşede yeşil ve sarı altın.
For this piece, they have used color for the calligraphy, and for the yellow parts that you see in the frame, they have used full gold painting.
Çoğunlukla renk. Reçine. Burada da yine ikisi bir arada, Tezhip ve hat bir arada. Bu bir bereket duası.
This is a very well-known prayer. This is a very well-known prayer in Turkey. Actually, I'm not sure if in other cultures as well. We call it bereket duası. Here you can see Tezhip and calligraphy used together as well. This prayer is commonly hung in houses or shops. It's for bounty.
Bu da bir yine Tezhip levhasında detaydır. Sadece altında yapılmış bir Tezhip'in bir dalı olan halkar çalışması.
This is a special pattern in the Art of Illumination. It's called halkar, and it's alone itself is a subject, a very difficult subject actually. And this is just a detail from a bigger artwork.
Mesela burada detaylar biraz net gözüküyor. Burada çiçekleri görüyoruz, yaprakları da görüyoruz. Ama hangi ağacın yaprağı, hangi çiçeğin yaprağı veya hangi çiçek bunu anlayamıyoruz. Bir gül mü, bir lale mi, karanfil mi belli değil çünkü burada stilize var, stilizasyon var.
In this closer look, when we look at it, we can distinguish that we can see leaves and flowers, but we can't really distinguish if they are tulips or if they are rose, if they are some other type of flowers or leaves, because there is stilization.
Evet, bu da yine büyük bir eser. Hat ve Tezhip bir arada. İç kısmında Hilye-i Şerif, bunu anlatmadık. Peygamberimize anlatıyor.
So this is a special text. It's called Hilye Şerif, and the text is written. The text actually talks about the characteristics of the prophet.
Yine bir kenar uç kısım tarafında da Kur'an-ı Kerim'den ayet-i kürsü var.
And for the frame, calligraphy is used in the frame, and it is Ayten Tiryaki.
Biraz büyük bir detaya, yani detaylar net gözüksün. Geçemiyoruz. Burada mesela biraz önce bir Rumi'den bahsetmiştim. Çiçeklerin arasında dolanan şekil Rumi'dir. Onun adına Rumi diyoruz.
So the pattern that she mentioned, the Rumi pattern, is this distinguished pattern that goes around the flowers, through the floral pattern. So it's just a task to manage.
Burada da yine el-yedül ulya hayrun min, el-yedül süfla, veren el hayırlıdır, alan elden yazıyor.
Okay, so this is an Arabic expression, says the hand that gives is higher in the rank than the hand that receives. receives.
Evet, görüldüğü gibi, evet, üstte veren el var, en altta da alan el var.
And the meaning of this saying is reflected in the way she has designed the calligraphy. The hand that gives is placed on the top of the art piece, and the hand that receives is placed on the bottom.
Bu yine Kur'an-ı Kerim'den bir parça. İç kısımdaki lacivertli alanda klasik tesip dediğimiz ince tesip var. Etrafında da halkar var.
Here she has used two different techniques. For the interior part, she has used the classical tezhip, which is more fine in detail. And for the outline, she has used halkar.
Sadece altın, etrafındaki sadece altın.
She hasn't used any color, and it's just gold.
İçinde de yeşil altınları görüyoruz.
And for the background in this section, she has used full green gold.
Sarı altınları görüyoruz.
And as well yellow gold
Bir de beyaz.
in the leaves, and white gold to give the shading.
Evet, beyaz altın, yeşil altın, sarı altın hepsi gözüküyor.
Okay, I hope you can see all different shades of the gold.
Burada da yine Esma-i Hüsna'yı görüyoruz. Ve tamamen klasik tesip.
Here she has only used the classical tezhip, and the calligraphy is based on the names of God.
Detay gösteriyor.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim.
Beyaz altın var, sarı altın var. Gözüküyor.
She has used white gold and yellow gold
Lacivert.
and lapis.
Ve gördüğünüz gibi biz çok zenginiz.
And she says, as you can see, clearly we are very rich. We use plenty of gold.
Elhamdülillah Allah vermiş. Yani çok şükür. Tamam. Bence işte isterseniz okumaya geçebiliriz. Daha fazla görüntülerimiz var ama
We have more pictures, but she wants to do a live demonstration if you're happy with it.
tamam, yeterli herhalde bu kadar. Bitirelim.
Okay, so
Ben size hazırlık yaptım. Birazcık burada çok uzamasın vakit diye bir kısmını yaptım bu minik işin. Burada da bitireceğim inşallah. Öncelikle böyle eskiz kağıdına çiziyoruz kurşun kalemle. Sonra buraya geçiriyoruz. Evet, öncelikle
because we have very limited time here today, she has done some preparations, and she will hopefully complete it here in front of you today.
önce eskiz kağıdına çiziyoruz böyle resmi, sonra buraya geçiriyoruz.
First of all,
Hiçbir zaman kağıda direkt çizmiyorsunuz değil mi? Yok, çünkü
okay.
bütün o desenlerimizi çok fazla hazırlık yapıyoruz.
So this is an important step. All those designs, those complicated those complicated and beautiful designs, they take plenty of time. So they never draw directly on the paper. They draw on different papers, such as tracing paper, and then they transfer it to the actual paper they're going to use.
Ve altında başlıyoruz dediğimiz gibi altın ilk ve ana malzememiz.
As the gold is the main element, she starts with gold.
Klasik test tekniğiyle yapacağım.
She's going to follow the classical Tezhip.
Fakat çok klasikte yapmadığımız kadar iri yapıyorum, iyi gözüksün diye.
But in terms of the dimension, this is much bigger than the classical, than the actual classical, so that it can be visible here.
Is she using water to dilute that?
Su mu kullanıyorsunuz?
Jelatinli su kullanıyorum. Jelatin
She uses gelatin water, which she prepared earlier today.
Is that gum arabic?
Gamelikle yapanlar da var. Ben jelatinle yapan, iki türlü yapılıyor. Ben bunu tercih ediyorum.
It's really a matter of choice. You can use gum arabic and gelatin as well. And she has had plenty of experience with gelatin, over 40 years of experience. She prefers gelatin.
Jelatin de kullanılmış olsa, bir de Arap zampı da kullanılmış olsa bile ayar çok önemli. İşte o ayarı tutturamazsanız problem yaşayabiliyor.
And the ratio is extremely important as well, because if you can't achieve the perfect ratio when you prepare the gelatin water or gum arabic, it will affect your artwork.
Yani nedir problemler? Yani parlamıyor.
Because we used gold here and we want the gold to be visible, so what could be the problem we can face here could be that gold doesn't shine, might not shine.
Parlamıyor, bir de şey olmuyor. Dökülme olabiliyor. Eğer yeterli miktarda olmazsa dökülebiliyor.
And it might not stick to the paper properly.
İlk önce her zaman altınlarla başlıyoruz.
They always prefer to start with gold.
Altınlı alanları yapacağımız altınlı alanları bitirince çiçeklerin alt renklerini, ilk renklerini sürüyoruz.
When we complete all the parts for which we are going to use gold, we start using the color and we apply the base first.
İlk renklerini sürdükten sonra şimdi tahrir yapacağız siyah renkle.
After applying the first base of the color, we will move on tahrir, which is the outline, and she's going to use a black color for that.
Şimdi fakat tahrire geçmeden önce yapacağımız bir işlem var.
Well, of course, there is one step that she's going to do before moving on tahrir, which is the outline.
Akitten olan mührelerimiz var. Bu mührelerle altını parlatıyoruz.
She is going to use the burnisher to burnish the parts where she has applied gold.
Bu şekilde parlatıyoruz.
And to burnish, she just gently touches the surface. She's not actually putting pressure, she's not pressing. With soft movements.
Anlaşılıyor mu bilmiyorum ama
we're not really sure if it's reflecting.
It is.
It's clear.
Pek gözükmüyor herhalde uzaktan. Sonra oradan yakınlaşıp bitince bakabilirim.
Later you can have a closer look.
Sonra tahrire geçiyorum. Şimdi tahrire
Şeyi anlatayım mı? Ölçüyü söyleyebilirsin. Ölçümü söyledim.
Şimdi tahrire geçiyorum.
Now she's gonna move on the outline.
Papers.
Şey,
Yes.
Olursa yine görüntü kaybedersiniz. Evet.
Yeah, exactly.
Sen de kontrol et. Çekmek mi istiyorsun? Mutlaka elinin altına bir kağıt koymanız gerekiyor. Onun için elin herhangi bir şeyden dolayı zemin kirlenmesin.
You should always have a piece of paper between your actual work and your hand. So just in case there might be some dirt on your hand or it might be greasy, it shouldn't transfer to the paper.
Biz başlamadan önce bir yeşil sürüyoruz. Onu sen anlat, ben
And
yani bu işe başlamadan önce de seni geçirmeden önce tebessiri toz haline getirip buraya bu şekilde böyle sürüyor.
And before they start to work, they add a bit of chalk on the paper and they use a soft cloth to apply it.
Görüntüden kaçtığı zaman sana çok ince yapmamız gerekiyor.
The outlining has to be extremely fine and very thin.
Şöyle biraz
Which ink is that?
bunun rengi Japon mürekkep.
Right now she is using calligraphy ink and this is Japanese ink that is mainly used for calligraphy.
Fakat şart
Sumi ink.
But you don't have to use ink.
Sumi. Is that Sumi ink?
yani boya da sonra yapılıyor. Adını bilmiyorum. Japon mürekkep boya satılıyor. Ama yani iyi kalitede sulu boya ve guaj boya yok.
But you can use watercolor or gouache as well.
Biraz daha ben hızlı yapmak için böyle.
She preferred to use ink today because we have limited time.
Tahrir dediğimiz bu çizgileri klasikle bitirdikten sonra yazdıktan sonra çiçeklerin renklerini yani birkaç kademe, 3 kademe ya da 4 kademe ya da 2 kademe olarak tonlarını yapıyoruz.
In the classical tezhip, after they do the outlining, they apply the outlining for coloring the flower petals. They usually do it in 2 to 3 steps.
İkinci renk sürdüm. Koyu renkten açık renge doğru, açık renkten koyu renge doğru gidiyor.
Teknik yani tarzı.
Bazen de bunun tersini yapıyoruz. İlk önce en başta en altta koyu renk sürüyoruz. İki türlü de oluyor.
So here you are seeing, now you're watching one style of coloring the flower petals. She has started with the light color and she's moving on darker shades, but you could follow the opposite steps. You could start with the dark and move on the light color.
Ama ne zaman onun da bir şeyi var, yani her zaman değil. Eğer arka planda, desenin arka planı koyu olacaksa, o zaman biz çiçekleri açık renkten başlıyoruz.
But that's not a random choice either. So there's always a calculation going on. If you're gonna for the background of the motif, if you're gonna have a darker background, then you have to start shading your flower petals in a lighter color.
Eğer arka planda altınsa zemin, o zaman çiçekleri koyu renkten başlıyor.
Or if your background, if the base is gold,
O zaman çiçeklerin ilk rengini koyu sürüyor.
then for coloring the flower petals, you have to start with dark colors.
Şimdi ben onun kurumasını, yani ikinci rengi sürdüm ama kurumasını beklerken bu arka planı da doldurmaya başladım. Çünkü
And for each step, actually, you will need to wait sometimes for them to dry up. Now she has applied the darker pink on the flower petal. As she lets it to dry, she is applying part of the background color.
kurumadan üçüncü rengini süremezdim. Burayı böyle dolduracağız. Gördüğünüz gibi çabucak bitecek. Bu yani lapisi benziyor, ultramarin gibi biraz. Evet, şimdi üçüncü rengi şuraya kadar yapalım. Üçüncü renge geçeceğim.
Onu söylemeye çalışıyorum.
Fotoğrafı yapılmıyor. Gerçekten yapılmış. Çünkü çok küçük oluyor. Sözünü koyduğu için hangisi yapabildim.
Now, because it is very big in size, she can paint it very fast, but also because it's just a demonstration here. But they take their time to paint because it's in the actual classical illumination, in the actual classical tezhip, it's very fine in details. So they actually take hours to paint one flower, one motif, such as this one, with different techniques.
Tezhip sanatı yani ve hat sanatı çok zor ilerleyen ve eğitimi çok uzun süren sanatlar. Hobi
Evet.
olamayacak kadar zor.
Tezhip as an art form is very difficult that it can't be a hobby. It takes plenty of time to make a progress, make actual progress.
Ve burada eğitim gibi bir fırça, yani kabiliyet ve fırça, bir de teori olarak iki yönlü, iki kanatlı.
And for the Tezhip education, for learning Tezhip, there are two core elements. That is the theory and the actual talent of using the brush and your, the way you apply your brush strokes.
Yani desenler kişi sanatların kendi oluşturması gerekiyor. Kendisini çizmesi lazım. Taklit veya kopya değil. Öyle anlamayanlar öyle zannedebilir ve her deseni aynı sanabilir. Ama öyle değil. Kendisini çizmesi lazım.
For those who are not really knowledgeable on the topic, they might think that the artists are copying or replicating the designs, but that's not how it is actually. And you are supposed to create your own designs, and you have to draw it all by yourself, and that takes.
Birisinin kabiliyeti vardır, güzel fırçası vardır ama desen çizemiyorsa hiçbir anlamı yok. Kendisi desen oluşturamıyorsa bir anlamı yok. Yani gerçek sanat değil, o kopya ve taklitten öte geçemez.
You might be talented in terms of using the brush, but if you're lacking the creativity in creating design, the patterns, the motifs, then your art is not nothing but replicating, just copying the others.
Böylece 3 doğum yapmış oldu. Daha fazla da olabilir.
And here for coloring this flower, she has used 3 different shades, but it could be more or less than this.
Bir klasik tezhip kısaca bir şeyi yolunu görmüş oldular yani gidişatı.
And here you can see an example, a very beautiful example of applying classical tezhip and painting.
Şimdi bir başka teknik gösteriyorum.
And now she is demonstrating a different technique of burnishing.
Bu kısmı, şu kısmı parlatmadım. Hiç bununla yapmadım.
If you watched closely, she didn't use that curved burnisher in the middle section.
Şimdi burayı iğne perdesi dediğimiz bir teknikle, yani böyle ucu sivri şeyle, mıhayla dönüştürüyor.
Now she is applying a technique called iğne perdalı, which is piercing burnishing, and with this technique, with softly, she is actually softly piercing the gold painted middle section. She's not pressing too much because you're not supposed to create holes, so you have to be really gentle. And if your ratio is correct, and if you apply this technique to burnish, your gold is actually going to burnish. So
Şimdi soruları varsa soracağım.
we can have your questions if you have any.
Which paper you are using? is that she's using our paper, or is that a just starch paper? What sort of paper is that?
Sadece nişastalı değil.
Nişasta, yes.
Altın kullanıyorsunuz yoksa
Evet, her ikisi. Sadece nişastalı da kullanıyoruz. Nişasta ve yumurta birlikte de kullanıyoruz. İkisi de oluyor.
They use either sized with starch, or they use starch and egg applied as well.
Ahar.
Yeah. Now you can see how it actually shines in the middle.
çok harika.
Beautiful.
Yani
Bazı yerleri tam parlatıyoruz. Bazı yani 3 türlü işlem var. Bazı yerleri tam parlatıyoruz. Bununla bazı yerleri bununla yapıyoruz. Bazı yerleri de hiç parlatmıyoruz.
So there are three different ways. They follow when they apply gold. For some of the sections, they burnish it with a curvy burnisher, and for some of the sections, they burnish it with piercing technique. And for some of the parts, they don't burnish at all.
Bazen de araya bir kağıt
This
koyarak
burnisher is to let the gold stick in the paper more, or just to make it glazing.
yapışsın diye mi yapıyorsunuz? Yoksa
sadece
parlasın?
parlasın diye. O zaten
Just for
jelatin,
shine, for it to shine, yeah.
zaten jelatin onu yapıştırıyor.
So she
Because
doesn't
they use gelatin water,
Yeah.
it sticks to the paper already.
Bazen de böyle araya kağıt koyup, ince bir kağıt koyup böyle mat kapatıyoruz.
And sometimes they use a piece of paper.
Yeah.
Karamele kağıt kullanıyoruz.
She doesn't use it for color, only for gold.
Yes, only for gold. And sometimes, as she just demonstrated, they use a piece of paper, a special paper,
Thin paper.
for matte burnishing, for matte finish.
Bu bitti. Şurada bu teknik klasik.
So this was a classical classic, and it was it is fully painted.
Bir de burada şurada hülker tekniği denemiştim arkadaşlarım, misafirlerimizi beklerken.
And here she applied, she practiced halkar.
Bunu da tamamlayabilirim eğer sıkılmadılarsa.
If you're not tired and bored, she says I can finish this one as well.
What is the ratio to water and gelatin?
Jelatin ve suyun miktarı o çok nasıl anlatılır bilmiyorum ki. Nasıl anlatılır? Bir ölçü, tam bir ölçü yani ben onu yaparak gösteriyorum size. Nasıl söylesek?
Tam bir ölçü yok yani. Her gün ne kadar sulanacaksa her gün yeniden.
Her gün yeniden
Yapıp
yapıyoruz, onu
satmam
söyle.
lazım.
Ama bir de bu eridikten sonra eriyen jelatini bu
Her şeyi
şekilde
söyleyeyim
elimizle
yani. Tam ölçü yok, her zaman test ederek.
test ediyoruz.
Evet.
So there isn't a set ratio for mixing the gelatin and the water, and she prefers to prepare it from scratch every day. She never uses she never uses leftovers. Only if she's going to do some corrections, fix some small parts, then she prefers to use the one she has prepared the day before, and that's even only in the morning. And every time she prepares, she follows some steps to make sure that it is the perfect ratio, and there's a technique to test it with hands, the way it sticks to your between your fingers, and how it is similar to the way our lips stick to each other. And then they also test it by applying it on a small corner
Söyledin mi?
Şeyi altından gösterebilir miyiz?
Ha, tamam gösterelim.
No, she's actually going to demonstrate the way they test it on a piece of paper.
Şimdi mesela hazırladık.
Let's say we just prepared the gelatin water, and we want to make sure that it is a perfect ratio.
Şimdi bu parmak, biz onu test ettik.
Onu anlatın istersen.
Anlattın sen, değil mi?
Tam anlatmadım. Parmakla test ediyorlar.
Yani batırıyoruz.
They touch it with their finger first. So this is the hand testing technique.
Bekliyoruz. Bunu böyle yapışması işte bu yapışıyor.
And she lets it to dry.
Biraz beklememiz gerekiyor.
You need to wait a couple of seconds until it dries up and starts sticking. But it's not supposed to stick too much. If it's sticking too much, then it means that your gelatin is too much. Can you see it? Can you see it?
Yes. And is that this gelatin is a crystal gelatin or a powder gelatin?
Sheet.
Or the sheets? Sometimes in Turkey you have sheets as well.
Toz.
She uses powder gelatin.
Powder gelatin.
And what was the second question?
There's the sheets. Sometimes you have a sheets gelatin
Yeah,
as well.
she said you can use either of
Bu
them.
da olur. Bu da olabilir ama ayarlaması için tecrübe lazım. İşte
But you need experience to
To check.
sonra bunu yaptıktan sonra bak gözüküyor şu an.
Here you can see how it's sticking.
Yes.
But this is okay.
Onun ayarı çok iyi. Şimdi bir de burada deneyelim. Yere sürelim.
After this step, to make sure that it's perfect ratio, she applies on the paper.
Kağıdın bir tarafına minik bir şekilde sürelim. Mesela böyle sürelim. Çok basit çünkü. Küçücük ziyan olmasın.
Because it's gold, you don't want to waste it, so you apply very little.
Şimdi bu kuruyunca parlıyor mu diye bakacağız.
Now we will see if it's shining or not once it dries up.
Eğer bu parlamıyorsa jelatin çok.
Once we do the burnishing, if it's not shining the way we want, then it means that it was too much gelatin.
Böyle yaptık, parlamadı. Yani şimdi kurumasını bekliyorum. Parlamadıysa jelatin çoktu, boya gibi, sarı boya gibi oldu.
It will just look like yellow paint.
Ve biz çok zaman yani öğrenirken çok öyle altınlarımız çok ziyan oldu. Yani bir türlü parlamadı, çok jelatin koymuşuz.
While they were learning, actually, they had a lot of similar experiences where their gold didn't shine and it was all wasted because they had put too much gelatin.
Eğer çok parlıyorsa evet parladı. Parlıyorsa jelatin iyidir.
I'm not sure if you can see it's shining now, but it tells us that the gelatin ratio was okay in this, but it is tricky as well.
Ama eğer çok iyi parlıyorsa kuru bir parmakla tekrar bunu
Now you have to test it with your fingers as a finger again.
eğer
You have to touch
elinize
it
geliyorsa
gently, and if it's transferring to your finger,
o zaman çok az demek.
then it means that your gelatin was too less.
Bu şimdi iyi. Gelmedi. Bak
It didn't transfer to her finger now because it was the perfect ratio first.
şunu tamamlayalım. Burada başka tamamen farklı bir teknik var. İşte gördüğünüz üzere halter tekniği.
And here she's following a completely different technique here.
Halter.
which is halkar.
Halkar çoğunlukla dış kısımlarında levhanın veya bir hat varsa etrafında yapılır ve iri desenler var.
Halkar is usually for the halkar, the motifs, the patterns are usually bigger in size, and they are mostly applying for framing and for outlining the actual piece in the border.
Dedim ya, iri motifler. Yani aynı motifler kullanılır. Fakat tezhiptekiler daha sade ve daha basit ve daha küçüktür. Halkardakiler iridir ve iri olduğu için de detayları daha fazladır. Halkardaki motifler.
For the classical tezhip, because the motifs are quite small, and for the halkar, because it is much bigger, they are finer in details.
Bu da halkar tarzıyla tekniğinde yaptık. Ama dolu değil gördüğünüz gibi. Yani burada her şey dolu.
You can see the difference for the halkar. Of course, this is a technique, but for the classic, she fully painted the entire motif.
Burada böyle zemin de gözüküyor.
But for halkar, in some parts it's see-through. You can see the background, the base as well. So she didn't fully paint it. And this is the difference and the beauty of all these different techniques that are practiced in the Art of Illumination.
Bu kadar.
We thank
Teşekkür ederiz herkese geldiği için.
our special guest, the renowned illuminator and teacher for all of us, Ayten Tiryaki, for joining us today and giving us this unique experience in London.
Onlara yakından bakabiliyoruz.
If you want to have a
I
closer
have a question. What type of brush does she use? What does she recommend?